In Portland, police are searching for a man who attempted to rob a local credit union. The crime happened at the Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union in Portland shortly before noon today. Police say the man handed the teller a note demanding cash. It's unknown if the suspect got away with any money before fleeing the scene. Police say that he drove off in a black Chevy Aveo four-door hatchback and asked folks to be on the lookout. And Corpus Christi police are looking for two people who robbed a Southside game room over the weekend. They say a man and a woman walked into the game room on the 4500 block of Castoris Road near Gullahar Saturday night. The man assaulted someone and fired a gun. The duo then took a woman's purse and money from a register before fleeing. Officers say they jumped into a white car that was parked at a nearby apartment complex and quickly drove away. Investigators ask if anyone has information on the crime to give police a call. And we now know the identity of a suspect who shot another man over the weekend. According to CCPD, a DPS trooper was watching the intersection of Staples and Holly early Sunday morning when a man drove up to the trooper saying he had been shot. As officers arrived at the scene, 35-year-old Hector Lopez drove up to the location and confessed he shot the victim. Lopez was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Police say Lopez knew his victim. And the family of a New Hampshire couple killed in October say that they've received the remains of their loved ones. James and Michelle Butler's bodies were found in a shallow grave on Padre Island. The family says that the couple was cremated in Texas before being sent home to New Hampshire over a week ago. The family can now plan a celebration of life, which they hope to hold in January. Now, Adam Williams and Amanda Nover were arrested after they were seen driving the Butlers' stolen truck into Mexico. They've been charged with felony theft. Well, Austin has its first case of measles in 20 years. Officials say that the person infected had traveled to Illinois and Virginia. The Austin Public Health Authority is trying to get the word out to those who may have been exposed to the measles. Those with measles are contagious for about 8 days. It can be a tricky diagnosis, and especially during this time of year.
I will say that measles can be challenging to diagnose, particularly during flu season, because many of the symptoms that happen before the rash appears are absolutely the same as flu.
The man contracted the measles during a trip to Europe last year. He got sick on December 14th and developed a rash 3 days later when he flew from Austin to Chicago and then to Virginia, where he remains. Now, anyone around the man during his flights could have been exposed to the disease. The city of Austin is working with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, airlines, and state health departments to identify anyone who came into contact with the infected man. Time now for our first look outside. Meteorologist Tom Harris is joining us with the very latest. And Tom, there was plenty of sunshine today, but how are temperatures looking for this evening?
It does look like it's going to be another chilly evening here in the coastal bend. Absolutely beautiful, though, as we take a live look outside with our sky cam. Now, the combination radar and satellite imagery does show a little bit of cloud cover coming in to the north and a little bit right here in the coastal bend. 68 is our current temperature with light winds. Our daytime high was 68, a little bit warmer in Alice. 72 was the afternoon high. We're going to see some of that moisture coming in off the Gulf, so we are looking for the potential for some rather thick fog in the forecast for tonight. Now, as far as tomorrow, looking for 71 degrees for your Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, we're going to wake up to some morning fog, then partly sunny with a daytime high of 74. I'll have all the details on that, your complete weather forecast, in just a few minutes.
Well, you may have seen city crews working on several streets today while they're out repairing potholes left behind after the recent rains we experienced. The rain washed out many of the patch jobs throughout the city. Now, we caught up with a crew making repairs to Leopard Street this morning. Corpus Christi City Manager Peter Zanoni had crews begin making repairs on Sunday.
There's a big concern, more and more potholes, and not only just the citizens, but our fellow city employees driving through the areas started noticing more potholes and everything else, and so we declared it basically a semi-emergency to start addressing potholes, and we're focusing this week only on potholes.
And today, crews worked on Leopard Street near North Padre Island Drive, Ocean Drive, Yorktown Boulevard, and Don Patricio Road in Flower Bluff. If you have a pothole to report, you can call 826-CITY or 826-2489. A couple of dump truck drivers are in the hospital after the sun blinded one of them, causing an accident. It happened this morning just after 8 a.m. The two drivers with solid waste services were heading down opposite directions on Citadin Drive. And one of the drivers were blinded by the sun, causing him to veer into the path of the oncoming garbage truck and sideswiped it. Both drivers sustained injuries to the face and were taken to the hospital.
It obviously wasn't an intentional act. The sun was in his eyes. I would just say, to anybody else to try and avoid something like this, use, some eye protection if you have to when the sun's rising, use your visor, things like that.
Now, the men are expected to be okay. Police are investigating the incident. So far, no citations have been issued. A local family is speaking out after they witnessed their vehicle get stolen this weekend. Now they're hoping it doesn't happen to anyone else. Our Chelsea Torres spoke with the family and has the details.
We've moved 20 times with the military. We do research every time we move. We did the research. This is a safe neighborhood.
Amy and Lonnie Hobson moved their family into this home on the 1st of November, ready for their first Christmas in Corpus Christi. But Saturday morning before 1 a.m., Amy woke to a disturbance that would lead up to tragedy.
We heard a grinding noise, like a loud noise. So we looked out the window and there was a car. It looked like it was on fire and it was just going down the road.
Unsure of what's happening,